Good morning, and welcome to Mad Yummy Yoga with Imelda here at the beautiful Holland Park in London. I've got just a very light, enjoyable yoga experience for you this morning, so enjoy. Just going to take a nice deep breath here and go right into a nice little back bend, enjoying this beautiful sky. And flow forward into a half forward fold. I'm going to turn sideways, just reaching the sit bones behind me, reaching the fingertips forward, and flowing right down into a full forward fold, dropping the crown of the head, reaching the tailbone up to the ceiling, bending the knees a lot, and sweeping right back into another back bend. It's a beautiful day today. Half forward fold, full forward fold, getting those hamstrings to wake up this morning, tailbone to the sky, maybe grabbing opposite elbows for ragdoll. Just taking a moment here to let things stretch. Feeling so heavy in my head so that my neck is just getting longer and longer. And I'm going to rise up into a chair, trying to get a little bit of thigh burn going. Just sinking down, reaching the tailbone back, keeping the heart pointing forward, and rising up for another delicious back bend. Full forward fold, and I'm going to step it right back into a plank. Just firing up my muscles here, baby bending the elbows, tucking the tailbone to get the glutes and core nicely engaged. I'm going to flow right into a down dog. I like to step my feet forward slightly when I go into down dog. And then I'm just going to let my shoulders come past my wrists as I bring one foot forward and just rise on up into a crescent lunge. From crescent lunge, I'm just going to shift that back heel down and sink down into a warrior two. Nice, peaceful, revolved warrior. Flowing right back into warrior two and my side angle pose. Taking a moment just to settle here, breathe, feel strong. Letting my arm just come over my head, trying to create a nice long line from my pinky all the way down to my heel. Then I'm just going to power right back up into my warrior two. Shift into my warrior one and spiral right back down into that low lunge. Take a moment here to stretch the hip. And I'm going to power right into a down dog. Taking a moment here to pedal out the heels. And then I'm going to lift this leg up and sweep it right forward and come into a high lunge on the other side. Just taking a moment here to feel the muscles in my body engaging. I'm going to turn around before I do the next set so that I'm not with my back to the camera. Here we go. So I'm simply going to open up into my warrior two, gaze over the right fingertips, lean back into my peaceful warrior, and come right back into warrior two, and find my side angle pose. And come right back up into that peaceful warrior. You know what? I forgot to extend this arm overhead and try to create a nice long lean line, pinky to heel. And then power back into warrior two and find warrior one. Spiral it on down. Just step right back into down dog. Breathing here. And I'm going to take a little bit of a wider stance in my down dog. And I'm going to bring my right leg through. And I'm on the outer edge of that foot. And just spiral into a wild thing. And just turn it right back around. Take the left leg through. And spiral into a wild thing. And bring it right back. Come into my plank. Obviously, I don't have a mat here, so I'm not doing anything on this ground. But I am going to bend my knees a lot. And just hop and come right back into a mountain pose. From mountain pose, let's take a moment here and just roll out the shoulders. Rolling out the shoulders, just trying to relax. Working a little bit with balance here. I'm simply going to bend the knees and come into phase one of awkward pose. Just holding my chair here, creating some heat in my body. Nice deep breathing. And then I'm going to rise up, find that delicious back bend. Before I come into the next phase of awkward, I'm going to step my feet a little bit wider than my hips. I'm going to come up high on my toes, the balls of my feet, and then I'm going to sink right back down into that chair on the balls of the feet. I don't know if you can tell, but definitely wobbling a little bit here. Just breathing, holding strong. Rising back up. I'm going to take the third phase of awkward pose here. Putting the heels of the feet. I'm not sure if you can even see my feet here. Back it up so you can see my beautiful walking shoes. I'm going to get the heels together. Lift those heels up. Step it together so I can keep the heels touching. And you guessed it, sinking down into that chair. Definitely wobbling now. I'm just trying to hold here, be strong. Nice, deep breathing. And rising on up, finding that delicious back bend. Flowing right back into my half forward fold. Turn sideways again. Just breathing here. Let the arms just float down to the ground. I'm going to take a little bit of a wider stance here for a wide-legged full forward fold, grabbing onto the ankles and just pulling my chest towards my thighs, keeping the knees as straight as feels good for your body. Nice deep breathing here. Maybe even taking the hands and walking them through for a deeper inner thigh stretch. Take those hands, walk them forward, walking the feet underneath my body, sweeping up into a mountain pose, finding a back bend. And I'm going to take time here to come into a chair and just find a revolved chair here. So I'm going to rise up, twist, come down, and take a little bit of a bind here in this revolved chair. And rising up, take a nice little twist and come down into a revolved chair here. Just trying to stack my shoulders one on top of the other. Taking a deep little twist here. And rising back up, coming back to the other side, hooking the elbow just outside the knee, and rising up. Last one on this side. And rising up. Finding that back bend, finding that half forward fold, full forward fold, bending the knees a lot, finding another chair, and my all-time favorite, the little baby inch up, inch down, inch up, and inch down. Just creating some nice heat in the thighs. Breathe. And rising up. Oh, seems like a back bend day. It's just because the sky is so beautiful. But let's flow right into some delicious side bends here. Nice deep breathing. And back to center. Let the arms just spiral down. Maybe find cactus arms, not cactus arms, locust arms, with your fingers interlaced. And once you do your half forward fold this time, just letting the arms come up away from the body. Letting the head just reach forward to the center. Bringing those arms up as far as feels comfortable and delicious for you. And then sinking all the way down into your full forward fold. Just think about letting your chest lie on the thighs. And then focus on getting the tailbone up to the sky so that your knees are getting as straight as you can handle. Really stretching the backs of your legs. Creating a delicious stretch in your low spine. Crown of the head is just hanging heavy towards the ground. So take a moment to just check in. Make sure that your neck is nice and relaxed. And bring those arms back to your body. Use the hands to come up into a half forward fold. Bend the knees a lot. Find that chair. And let's create some more heat in the thighs. So little tiny lift and lower, and lift and lower. Nice deep breathing. Nice. Just keep it going. Nice. Working those thighs, working all the little muscles around your hips, your knees, and power it on up. Delicious baby back bend. And coming on forward. Let's go right back to some balance work here by working on eagle pose, one of my favorite all-time poses. So what I'm going to do is just get a nice little bend going in my left leg. That's going to be my standing leg. And I'm going to talk about your foundation first, and then we'll talk about what you can do with your upper body. So for foundation, I like to dig my toes of the standing leg into the ground and just lift this knee up as high as you can get it. Now, the higher you go, the easier it's going to be for you to find that wrap around the standing leg. Once your knee is up, turn the hip so that I can see the outside of your thigh. Then wrap that leg behind and try to tuck the top of your foot around the calf on the standing leg, and then just sink in. Now try to keep your chest up over your hips, shoulders over the hips. And that is your foundation right there. So now let's talk about what you do with the arms. With your arms, find cactus arms first, and then I want you to take the elbows and the palms and bring them together. Once your elbows and palms are together, take the left elbow and stack it inside the bend of the right elbow. And then I want you to just lay your hands out, palms facing the ceiling, and then just slap them together. Once they're together, press those palms together and lift the elbows till they're about even with your shoulders. So you know what to do with the bottom half, what to do with the top half. Let's get it done. All right, finding a bend in the left knee, digging the toes of that left foot into the ground. Nice relaxed shoulders. I'm going to lift the right leg, show you the outside of the thigh, wrap that foot, sink into it, find my cactus arms, bring the elbows together, left elbow goes inside the crook, palms open, slap them together, lift the elbows, and just sink into your chair. And do your best to keep your gaze at eye level and just keep your breathing nice and steady. I'm breathing in. I'm breathing out. I'm breathing in. I'm breathing out. Just focus on your breath. It's the easiest thing that you're doing right now is breathing. So if you just think about that, the rest just becomes secondary, not even important. And unwrap whenever you're ready, and unwrap the foundation, and notice what you're feeling in your body. Like my ankle on the standing leg is going, ah! The knee needs a little bit of flexing, and then I'm ready to go for the other side. So hopefully you are too. If not, hit pause, right? Roll out the shoulders. I find rolling out the shoulders just to be very relaxing. Nice deep breath, getting the bend going in the right knee. Those toes are digging into the ground. I'm going to lift that leg and show you the outside of my hip, thigh. Wrap the toes behind the calf and just take a moment to find your balance. Cactus arms, breathing here. Bringing the elbows and palms together. The right elbow goes in the crook of the left arm, bend. Palms open to the ceiling, then slap them together. Lift those elbows and let's just breathe here. You can sit down into this pose. Just sink your hips back a little bit and just breathe and focus on breathing. Forget everything else. Just focus on the breathing. Breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, and breathing out. Unwrap whenever you're ready. Unwrap those legs and notice what your body's feeling. Rock the hips out, flex the knee, the ankle, and that was lovely. Right back into our delicious back bend. Maybe your back bend is a little deeper now. Flow right back into your full half forward fold. Not full, sorry. Fingertips reaching forward. Sit bones reaching back. Picture a glass of wine standing on this tabletop that you've created. So please don't spill the wine. And whenever you get ready, just sink down into your full forward fold. Crown of the head hangs heavy. Chest reaches towards the thighs. Tailbone reaching to the sky. Then take your left hand and plant it right in the center in front of your feet. And take the right fingertips up to the ceiling. And you want to reach with those fingertips, finding as much length as possible. I'm pushing into this bottom hand so that I can try to stack my shoulders one on top of the other and create a nice long line from the fingertips on the ground to the fingertips reaching for the sky. And whenever you're ready, let that hand float right back down. Take a moment to go deep into your full forward fold. Nice relaxing breath here before we aim for the other side. Planting the hand, the right hand in front of the feet, taking the left fingertips to the sky, reaching with those fingertips and just really pushing into the hand that's on the floor, trying to stack my shoulders into one long line. Breathe and relax right back down and bend the knees. Find that delicious chair. Find that fire in your thighs. Just breathe. Always trying to get strong. Always working the muscles till they get exhausted. And then trying to go just a little bit past that exhaustion in an effort to tear down some of that muscle fiber so that it will rebuild itself stronger. But you know, in order for it to rebuild stronger, you got to feed it. You got to give it some protein. I would say 30 minutes to an hour after your exercise. Feed your muscles with protein so that they can bloom like all these beautiful flowers around me. Rising up, delicious back bend. Breathe the beautiful air. Let's just breathe here. Bring those hands down to your heart. I'm going to do a single leg chair here. So I'm creating pressure right here. My hands are not just lightly touching, they're pressing against each other, activating the muscles across my chest, around my shoulder blades, little bend in the left knee, lifting the right ankle to cross. And I want to keep my shoulders stacked over my hips as much as I can as I reach my sit bones back as they try to find a chair. Nice, deep breathing here. Woo. If you wobble, just focus on your breathing. Keep your gaze nice and steady and let the foot and the ankle just do their job. They were designed to find balance. So use those foot muscles, ankle muscles, to find that peaceful balance. And rising up, rolling out the shoulders, flexing the knee, the ankle. Before I go to the other side, I have to take another delicious back bend. I just can't stop. It's such a beautiful day out here, you guys. All right, here we go. A nice bend in that knee. Toes are engaged. Crossing the left ankle over the right knee. Taking time to create energy in my upper body. Shoulder blades are slightly pinched together. Palms are pressing against each other. Just reaching back with my sit bones, trying to find a chair. Trying to keep my chest nice and proud. Pinching those shoulder blades, pressing the palms together helps to create that beautiful posture. And just breathing. And whenever you get ready, rise up. Release the leg. Rock out the hips. Breathe in that beautiful air. Flow into your half forward fold and your full forward fold. Bend the knees a lot. Sweep your way back up. Find those delicious side bends. One last little challenge before we leave here today. Let's find a bind in side angle pose. One of my favorite things to do. So I'm going to start by just stepping into a high lunge. In high lunge, the back foot is on the ball of the foot and both toes are pointing forward, both hips, shoulders pointing forward. This is a crescent lunge, sometimes called a high lunge. I'm going to pivot into my warrior two. I'm going to find my peaceful revolved warrior, gazing up at the beautiful sky, trying to keep this top arm back just a little. Come right back into warrior two. Just spiral that T down to find side angle pose. Now here I'm going to slide the side of my ribs down to the thigh and reach this arm inside and turn the back of the hand to put it on my bottom. Then I'm going to just turn this palm back, reach back, and interlace those fingers and try to open up my chest and my hips to the side of the room. And that is a bind in your side angle pose. And whenever you get ready, release, release, Just come right back up and you're done. I'm going to do it on the other side. I'm going to turn my back to the camera. I know that's a no-no, but I want you to see the actual bind. So I'm just going to put the other leg forward and do the same little flow. Starting in crescent lunge, toes, hips, shoulders, all pointing forward. A nice delicious bend in that front leg. Sometimes I scooch the back leg further back to let me sink deeper into the pose. I'm sorry for turning my back on you. I want you to see the bind. So from here, I'm simply going to pivot into my warrior two. I'm going to take my peaceful warrior, and there's a light touch back here. I'm not pressing into that back leg. My hand is just slightly resting there. And I'm looking up into the beautiful sky. Come right back into warrior two and find my side angle pose. And from side angle pose, I'm just going to take the side of my rib cage and lower it down so that it's laying on that thigh, reaching this hand in and finding my backside with the back of my hand. Turn this palm back, bend the elbow, fingers are right there, boom. And then open up the chest, the hips to the side of the room. And there you go, a bind and side angle pose. Whenever you're ready, release, find the ground, pivot that back leg so toes are pointing forward again, and rise right back into your high lunge. And you can just bend that back knee to step forward. And take a nice deep breath. That, my friends, is the end of our practice today. The sun is hot. It's beautiful here in London. Thank you so much for joining me for this little light yoga this morning. I hope you'll come back tomorrow. Tomorrow I will be in Rome, I believe. Can't wait. Anyways, thanks for joining me, and I will see you next time. If that wasn't enough for you, you know you have a replay, rewind that you can press at any time, right?